Hello.
Welcome to Action Unwind. I'm Dean. This is Drew. Felt weird. It's usually feels weird.
Welcome to Action Unwind.
There we
I'm
go.
Drew. This is Dean.
Way better. Way better.
And we are talking G.I. Joes and Transformers.
Yeah.
The babies, the classics.
The roots, back to the
roots.
roots, the comfort zone, the bubble. I'm back into where I belong. No, all kidding aside, we love everything that we're talking about, but this is kind of how it all started from childhood, right? Joe's for me, Transformers for you, and a blend in between. So yeah, lots of excitement in this whole universe of what's happening between Joe's, Transformers. There's always a connection. There has been in the past. There will be in the future.
Which was new to me, actually.
Yeah.
I never had the crossover phase. I was in Transformers, and like I knew about G.I. Joe, but to find out that there's a crossover, I'm excited. It's all new to me.
Megatron and Cobra Commander were like this.
Anyway,
lots of exciting stuff. Maybe we'll start with Joe's. Hasbro, over the past 8-9 months have been just doing what they normally do. Some teasers, some new HasLabs, all that sort of stuff going on.
Pushing the barriers a little bit, kind of.
They're doing some things, right? They have their main line, they have the retro line. Now there's the 60th anniversary line.
Yeah.
I mean, there's pros and cons.
Who's the guy with the vest, the medic? I'm still new. I'm still learning. Doc.
Yeah.
The interchangeable parts on the vest, I think, is a big step in the right direction.
That's cool. They're doing some different things. The retro line, and while we're talking about retro line, I'm just going to bring them up right now.
Bring them on up.
You know what? I loved, we talked about this early on last year, I believe, in season 1 with just what Classified was doing at the start with the main releases, Duke, Scarlet, Roadblock, Gung Ho, more of kind of a futuristic type look before Lady J. But then there was a lot of people that were like, it's not nostalgic, let's get back to where we are. So they re-released some guys, dipped some paint apps, and kind of really getting back. But Classified still carrying on with kind of a new unique breath of fresh air to the figures. But then there's the retro card back line. And
it doesn't bottleneck them, right?
Yeah,
it keeps them appealing.
I heavily enjoyed Beachhead. I thought it was a great figure. But as soon as the retro came out, oh, sweet Lord, this is the one. Again, I'm not going to say that I'm all retro, but when they come out with certain retro releases, it makes me rethink of some of the figures I have. But then you can kind of repurpose, which we'll get into when we talk about it. But
absolutely.
In terms of the retro look and the card backs, again, that doesn't get much more nostalgic than that. But this Beachhead, everything, color scheme, everything just looks like it's the figure I had as a child. And
and their textures too. Like I have the first, the Classified Beachhead.
Yeah.
And I will say, like I like with the Classified that they do have some kind of modern looks, like some of the colors and stuff too. But I will say, like this one, especially where I see the biggest like kind of step in detail too, is like his head and neck with the balaclava that he's wearing. It looks like texture. Like it's not, other lines would just go with green. This one, it has the texture, it has the stitching, has the seaming, which it's a little thing, but it's incredible. Like with our time off, it's incredible how much that is becoming more important. Those little touches is where the thought's
it's
at.
more classic, but for the Classified version, I do like the braid that can come on or off. It's not on the top of his shoulder. If you put it on this one, it would just feel weird because he's got it on his shoulder.
He's got two.
He's got two braids. You never know when you need.
He's rocking the BB.
Anyway, so that's Beachhead. Big fan of that release. Another one of my favorites in recent months that came out, and one of the classics. I mean, everyone can't wait till that next Dreadnought comes out. Road Pig. Now, this one comes with some love and some hate. I'm a big fan. Scaling-wise, I love it. I think it's great. I think the head sculpt is great. I think the biggest backlash that I'm seeing and reading online is that no one really loves his tummy tattoo.
His belly tie.
It does say Dreadnought. I think it's cool. Again, it's been classified, but Road Pig, I think if they could have originally would have made him big, beefier, kind of missed that bit of a pig face on him, but overall, like the accessories are there. I just think they Dreadnoughed him out, they classified him out, and
here's the other thing too. Let's face the facts. The actual Classified team or the G.I. Joe team, they're probably going to release all these figures as a retro again. Me personally, this is what I was talking about before, where I'm glad they weren't like, okay, scrap Classified, just go retro, because then you're cutting out market. Where for me, when I never knew this figure, I never knew this character until you picked it up. I love the look of it. For me, I'm one of the people who just loves it. And seeing the classic's not for me. Now, I know part of that's I never grew up with watching the show, so I can respect that some people need the classic. But try not to put some hate on a figure that appeals to another type of market for people who don't mind it. And just hold tight, be patient. I'm sure that retro version's coming. Just
a few of my favorites. There's a whole bunch of other ones. I mean, we could talk for days about Joe's just with what's coming.
Talked about them kind of pushing the barriers too, and there was talk about some HasLabs and stuff too, but they had made the 3.75 jet, which I thought was phenomenal. It looked great, but it's just I'm not into 3.75. It's not something I collect. I can appreciate that you still get a full jet size down, but for me, I like when companies push the barriers and they trust their fans that we're saying, hey, we need vehicles that accommodate the 6-inch market. Like, we need it. So one that they brought out that I just jumped all over is the Stinger. So the reason that I love this vehicle, first of all, it's all to scale, which is great. I'll be honest, I didn't actually buy this for G.I. Joe's. I actually bought this in one of our previous episodes and stuff like that. You've heard us talk about Operation Monster Force. I saw this vehicle, suspension there. I saw this vehicle being just the perfect vehicle for my Van Helsing's Delta Red Nocturnal Force. And I mean, they scale great. They fit in good. You can take off the roof, the doors. It's a really well-crafted vehicle.
Yeah, I love it. You mentioned that. I love that it's so versatile. We're talking about Joe's, but it's so great that you can use this for anything else. Like, I use my Vanguard, for example. I have my G.I. Joe Night Force team in that because it just feels like it's the right vehicle for that. So picking the right vehicle for your different lines, for your squads, for your teams are fantastic. And
the dash detailing gets me. Even the little fire extinguisher in the back.
Safety first, right? Absolutely. And along with the Stinger, you can't go too far without its counterpart, its Joe counterpart, which is the Vamp. The Vamp, obviously, we've talked about this many times before. Everything you can do to take it to that next level. Yeah. Hasbro did a fantastic job with this. I love it. Clutch is one of my favorite figures, actually, as well. But then our friends at Gridiron Studios, they've done it again. There's so many. I'm behind. I only have 2 add-ons so far. But the different add-ons you can get to take this next level, I got to get those beefy tires. There's a tire kit with a jack on the back.
Yeah.
Better.
There's a hood pack,
but more
I think.
turns. There's a hood
Something
pack.
for the hood
pack. There's side doors with guns and side panels and
the Cyclops
there's
pack.
A whole bunch of things I'm going to add to this thing to just beef it up. But I mean, it itself as it came, fantastic vehicle, similar to the Stinger. I love it. But being able to have a company like Gridiron give us and provide to us. I don't know how they do it. I don't know if they honestly get an early shot of grabbing this to scale because everything snaps in so tight that everything, like the roll bar in the back, when I put it on, it just, how is this?
That's one thing I gotta say is
part of it.
The way they build these pieces, there's no gluing, there's no drilling, there's no modding of the vehicle. Yeah. There's just literally snap-in pieces, and they look, the paint match too. They look exactly like the vehicle. They fit perfectly. But
the
Stingers, I'll say, was when they started to, they dipped the toe with the ATVs and the trouble bubbles and stuff.
Yep.
I'm sure majority of you are aware, and some of you are probably the owners of. I would say one of the biggest vehicles, possibly the biggest vehicle. I don't actually know.
It's the biggest.
Let's talk about it.
I mean, I missed the boat on the His tank. I will eventually track one down and get it, but because I missed that was extra fuel to go and grab myself a. Oops, that's coming apart. Grabbing myself a Dragonfly. This vehicle is so fantastic. Everything from the scale of it to the lighting, like that green fluorescent light that lights up is just incredible. I love the effects for all the missiles. You can put the missile in the front of the blast effect, or you can put it further back so it looks like it's just about to fire. There's different attachments. Again, nothing new to anybody that's into this line. This is a complete.
It's quite shocking. Like it's a lot of plastic. And I love the rivets on it. I love the exhaust. It's got the light up feature. It's got the panels and stuff that can come down. So it looks like if you're into figure photography, what amazing shots you can get.
For sure.
But I will say kudos to the G.I. Joe team for taking that jump, listening to the fans. And it's we have something, again, the customization on these things, that Tiger Force version. I've seen people do Tiger Force already.
Yeah. For me, with the unlocks, Wild Bill is an absolute staple in the G.I. Joe universe. So even if I didn't or missed out on the chance of getting this, I would just try to find a Wild Bill figure. So I'm loving that I have him. Glenda was a nice add-on to different figure that came out a little bit after my days of collecting as a kid. And then I love the Night Force Ripcord, the Night Force Crazy Legs. We're obviously going to get those in retro packs. You just know it's coming. But like for all the sub teams, I know not everyone loves the sub teams, but there's Tiger Force fans, there's Night Force fans. I'm all in on the Night Force. I love that line, and I'm really happy that I was able to grab those two along with this. I thought it was a nice ad.
It's a commanding piece.
Again, it's a patience game, right? So everyone that's kind of up in arms that they didn't get a regular release Ripcord and Crazy Legs, be patient. Guaranteed they're going to come, but
And
this thing
we've seen now that this is out, we've also seen the Rattler.
The Rattler's been announced,
right?
yeah, so that's a great one too. I think it has like a special edition Baroness, and then it also has the Wild Weasel, who is another iconic character, and that vehicle is iconic to the brand. I'm hoping, if you can hear me, the HasLab team, from our small little corner of Earth, the
internet
studio here in Action Unwind, get us a whale. Give me Cutter, give us a whale.
Is that the big mama?
hovercraft? That's the hovercraft. I mean,
would you back it if the opportunity came?
I will answer for you. I will answer for. I'll back it for you. I feel like the whale is something that would just be unreal. You'd have a lot of great figures you could bring along with that. I mean, Super 7 did the Thunder Tank for the Thundercats. So you're seeing vehicles that big. I would find a place for it. I'm sure all of you would too.
Yep.
Let's get that. It has to be done because I know we're going to get smaller vehicles. I think there's a tease out there right now that the Ostriker might be coming with crankcase, and there'll be continued smaller versions. I hope we get the Devilfish with wetsuit, things of that nature, but keep the big ones coming. I mean, I don't think anybody wants a flag. Maybe they do. The
well, and the
carrier,
thing is, looking at these attachments and stuff like that, and again, it's not, oh, let's see how much money we can squeeze out of them, but I see even potential down the road where maybe you make a vehicle and you can have rockets and stuff coming out of it. But maybe I want some big explosions. Maybe I want some explosions that are, 2/3 the size of this table that I can use that are sculpted out of this plastic and stuff. Like, I think the team, as far as like the G.I. Joe team goes, I think they're doing a good job. I think that they are listening to the fans. I think they're paying respects to the product.
Agreed.
And I'm just excited for the future of them, man. I genuinely hope that they keep getting bigger vehicles. I think that's the limits are the only limits they have are the ones they set for themselves for sure.
Absolutely, I love it.
So another classic property. We've talked Joe's, Transformers, man. I will say, and I want to talk about it more later, like the whole crossover between Transformers and Joe's, that's completely new to me. Very excited for it. But for Transformers, man, I'm going to talk about this guy right here because I slept on him at first release. Jetfire or Skyfire for some people's preference. What a figure, man. I underestimated the size of it. When I got the box, I was like, oh, this I figured there's some blast effects and whatnot too. Then I opened it up and I saw that half the box size was him. I did not know that he was this big.
And what version is this one?
This is the second, so this is the re-release. I slept on the first initial version from Siege.
Siege,
and yeah, this is the re-release of it, which again, I will say I'm very thankful for because this is a perfect example of where scalpers went off the charts on pricing.
Sure.
And it was just, I couldn't justify being able to buy a whole line of Transformers for one figure. So thank you very much for the re-release. I was able to snag one up. I got this one from ECollectables. So big shout out to them for having it in stock and being able to grab it with a quick turnaround time.
Love that setup too. Just looks so good. Him and Outback is looking for trouble. It looks awesome.
And that's what's getting me excited is I have moved some of my Joes and stuff just kind of with some of the new lines that I'm into, but there's a couple Joes that I just love. This setup with Outback and Jetfire, I kind of, and I don't really know where I get it from, and I'm not saying it's original or anything, but I see certain Joes working with certain Transformers, and to me, Outback and Jetfire, I just see as those two, they look good. I feel like they complement each other really well.
Possibly a Tango and Cash part 2.
A Tango and Cash. So Jetfire, absolutely love it. The articulation's great. The size of it was overwhelming at first for me. But another one, I am one of the people who have been enjoying the reboot to Transformers, the Bumblebee movie, The Rise of the Beast. We talked about Rise of the Beast in season 1. Yeah. One figure that I always wanted, I slept on him during, I believe he was a Earthrise release, but Shockwave. And it's kind of silly, but one of the things, again, the asymmetry, big fan of it when it's done right. But I always thought Shockwave was cool because a lot of the Transformers, they have human-esque faces, and his is just completely unique. It's a one-off. I will say I didn't mind his redesign for the Michael Bay version when he came out. I thought it was pretty menacing and pretty badass. I know there's a reissue coming out on it, but this one from the Bumblebee movie, man, when him and Starscream and Soundwave show up, and you just hear Soundwave throwing his commands out, like it overexcited me.
Yeah, it's a cool figure. I like the color. Pops. Nice figure at all.
With this set of movies coming out, one thing I think is really smart is they're capitalizing too on concept art. So you've got like Sunstreaker and a couple other figures that weren't actually seen in the movie, but they did concept art for.
Oh, nice.
So I've got Sunstreaker at home and stuff. This Shockwave, phenomenal figure, but one company that we featured on season 1 that I can't get enough of, they are doing some changes, is Yolopark. Now, Yolopark, man, I had nothing but praises to sing for the first season, and I still continue to. And a figure that came out from them was this Rhinox from the Rise of the Beast movie. Now, this figure, for me, so far is just like, how do I describe it? I like to see positive progression with figures. Every figure that comes out, something's better, something's new. The articulation, unmatched. The detail, you can't really see it and stuff, but like he has pistons on his back and spine. So when you give him an ab crunch and stuff, they extend. The weathering on the metal is incredible, and like Yolopark's knocking it out of the park, pun intended. Now, one thing that I've heard of, and you'll have to go fact check me on this too, we did a giveaway at the end of last season for our Figure Madness, and one of those figures was a Megatron, like a G1 Megatron from Yolopark, and they had incorporated some of the die-cast metal, more of a premium figure. So from what I've heard is they're starting to push more die-cast. I guess there's been a real positive, which I agree. I like die-cast in a model kit and stuff, but it helps with standing and everything. But the one thing is I've heard that or from what I've seen online, it looks like they might be migrating strictly to that. So it's going to cause a little bit of a pump in price, but they're still very reasonable for what you get, and you're getting a quality figure. Again, these do not transform. If you're new to Yolopark, we'll throw the link to their website in the description below, as well as go check out Prime vs. Prime. He's a YouTube reviewer. He's just on the same level of excitement about Yolopark as I am, and he has reviews on all of these figures, what's released and up to date. And it's a phenomenal figure. Absolutely love it. For me, it hits me in the feels because I was a Beast Wars fanatic growing up. So to have Rhinox in the figure, love it.
Great figure. And also shout out to Big Marv, who won the giveaway from season 1. Giveaway. And if you don't follow Big Marv, give him a follow on IG. Big Marv.
Absolutely.
And he loves to throw.
He's a Joe's guy.
He's a Joe's guy. He throws out a Mercer Monday every Monday, and he does something with Figure Mercer, which is awesome. So
perfect.
Obviously transitioning, or not even transitioning, bringing the two worlds together. The new movie coming. Lots of speculation. Lots
2025, 2026. I'm hearing mixed on when it's coming out.
At the end of Rise of the Beast, I was a huge fan of how that ended with the Joe card and the excitement of that. So I'm really excited to see the casting come, and I'm really excited to see how they're going to put that movie together. But it just makes sense. Both of these live in the same world.
It is cool how they complement each other. And like one thing too, I'm very curious about is like I like the classified line. I like the retro Joes, but it's like, I think casting is going to be a big thing for me. Who are you casting as, the significant Joe figures? As well as, I think the Transformers voices they've casted are great. But I'm curious if we're going to get, since we have a lot of the molds, are we going to be getting some Transformers G.I. Joe 2025, 2026 G.I. Joe figures? Are they going to release that? I'm a big movie guy, so I could see myself getting a lot of Joes figures to add in with these movie figures and stuff.
It'll be interesting to see. I'm sure there will be. Hasbro will capitalize on that for sure. So for sure. Interesting. And obviously with that, our good buddy Ashley over at 204 Comics. If you are interested in any of the reading material about this universe, Void Rivals, this is a big one. This is episode issue 9, where Springer and Scarlet come into play. So it's bringing the worlds together. Image is doing this run so far. Very fun read. It's great. And along with that, Image also took over on the long-standing G.I. Joe franchise. They took over at episode 3 or issue 301 and continue on. Outside of this, there is some side issues of Destro having his own miniseries, do Cobra Commander, but continuation. Image is doing great stuff. But please check out Ashley 204 Comics. Check out their website. All of your comic needs are right there for you.
And just with the Void Rivals thing, maybe you can throw a comment down below. Like, I would actually like to see this into. I liked the Netflix Siege and Earthrise and Kingdom and stuff. I would love to see a Netflix take on this Void Rivals. I think that the potential's there. The actual canon is all here for you. You just got to follow it. And like, I don't know, the way the new age of cartoons and the style they can make them in, I think these would just jump off the page if they could do it. Absolutely.
Got me nervous thinking about the cast for this movie. Like,
yeah,
The Rock did Roadblock once.
I don't need to see Roadblock Rock.
No, I don't need.
I don't need to see like half the stuff that was in those original Jaws movies. So
Yeah, let's take a
we'll
look.
see who. Maybe that's something too that like help us out, man. Like maybe we'll do a brainstorm session and like throw it down in the comments where like who's gonna play who. You know,
absolutely.
like are they gonna go with new actors who are newer faces, or are they going to end up just kind of trying to cash in on some big names, your Pedro Pascals, etc., and stuff like that?
Pedro,
So,
give me some more Pedro.
Ooh, Pedro.
Pedro would be a good dial tone. He'd be a good dial tone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Okay, so the show has a lot of unique segments, and they're some of my favorite parts of the show. So let's get into one of our
One we haven't done for a while.
original segments.
Custom couch. For those of you that
Who's
are
joining
new
us?
to the follow on the custom couch, this is where we will share different customs we're working on. And I think in the last little while we've both moved away from full customs and just done more kit bashing.
Yeah.
I feel like every time we've tried to work on a custom, all of a sudden one of our favorite lines announces, "Hey, we're doing this figure," and then
Hey,
we
here's
just,
the
like,
re-release.
Yeah,
I'll
I
just
remember when I was working on a
3 months of work
Dusty,
down.
stripping that camo body down to do Doc, and then Doc came out. So
Yeah.
I'm off it. I'm off customs. I just like the little kit bashes. So the ones that I've been working on recently, number one is Mr. Kevin Owens for all you wrestling fans out there. I find that with the retro stalker that's out, which I love, that
It's
new
bright.
version. It's bright.
It's
great.
bright.
It's original. I'm a big fan. But I was also a big fan of this
Classified one?
this classified one, and it's a great body, and it's a great like versatile figure. Oh boy, I'm throwing them around here. It's a great versatile body to do any of your kit bashes customs. Here, you hold them. But anyway, that's one of my customs I worked on. I just simply swapped out the hands, swapped out the neck, and threw a KO head on them. So something a little bit different that isn't just a predictable
It's some
G.I. Joe.
variety.
Some variety,
It's a
just a
versatile
soldier
body.
in there. We've used the scarf on our Outbacks.
Outback, yeah.
It's a great piece. And then I've also, I don't know if people feel about this, but Alpine's face felt a little.
The waves. Off.
His face felt a little off.
Not
I'm not
Falcon
upset.
off. Not Falcon
No,
off.
no, I'm not upset,
that
but
was
I
off.
felt like he just needed a bit more. So I used the classified head on, swapped it onto my Alpine body, which I'm not showing today, but I will in a future episode.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one I did is Quick Kick. Quick Kick's iconic. Loved the figure, but something, I don't know, it just didn't feel classified, which is
Something's
odd.
off.
I've been talking about retros, I've been talking about like how much I love that, but I kind of wanted to classify Quick Kick up a little bit. So all I did is I did a little swap. His fire team, I ended up swapping the legs and the vest and put Quick Kick on there, so he's kind of more mercenary, battle ready, and I don't know.
It looks a bit more
little spin.
real.
Yeah.
If you could say that, if that's the proper term.
Yeah.
And again, like the red with the gray with the black boots. I think that's a combo that just works. It's something, I don't know. It makes it pop a lot nicer than, in my opinion, than what originally was coming out.
The fun part about all these lines and doing these little kit bashes and difference and variances, it just like adds to your fig photography. It adds to just your collection. So yeah, feel free to share down below what your favorite customs are or kit bashes that you're working on. Let me know if you like mine or not. And I'd love to hear those comments.
Hit us up on Instagram, send us the pictures, and give us a little write-up too. Like why did you kit bash it? Where are the parts from? Just because with the community, I think you saw this one online?
I saw something similar to it, and it sparked the interest in the idea.
That helps everyone in the community kind of dial their collection in, like we say, elevate your displays and stuff a lot better for sure. That's going to wrap this episode on G.I. Joe and Transformers. Big shout-outs to 204 Comics, ECollectables, Yolopark, the Hasbro G.I. Joe team doing phenomenal things. So go check them out. There's a lot of good companies doing a lot of good things. Go show them some love and support. And as we always say, thank you for taking some time to unwind with us. We'll see you in the next one.